Hey everyone, I come on here tonight because we're going to talk about the different views of being silent and the different reasons why someone would become silent. I do find this topic to be important, especially if someone utilizes their nonverbal communication instead of verbally speaking. And it's good to have insight and understanding why someone goes silent so that we have more wisdom when handling circumstances and situations regarding them. This is definitely helpful for those who may be in a relationship or just looking to date. I first want to thank everyone who has had an opportunity to get our free 10-step e-guide on how to date effectively. This e-guide has been very helpful for many. Thank you for all of the feedback, all of the wisdom, the insight that you guys have provided just regarding it, taking the opportunity to review it. It truly means a lot to me. As you guys know, who you decide to marry is one of the most crucial decisions that you will ever have to make in life. And we pray that during your dating phase, that this guide is helpful to you. We do have 10 steps. So step 1, test the fruit. Step 2, get to know your date. Step 3, identify compatibility. Step 4, know the differences. Step 5, acknowledge imperfections. Step 6, discuss personal backgrounds. Step 7, observe healed and unhealed traumas. Step 8, speak future plans. Step 9, make boundaries and expectations known. Step 10, align living structures. We did add a bonus, the dating checklist, currently available for free. If you go to our website at www.ourfaithconnects.com and you enter your email, we would go ahead and forward you over the PDF. Tonight's topic, Silent Wins, is going to be a very direct conversation just between you and I. It's pretty much kind of going over the different views of being silent and what it truly means. Tonight, we will talk about nonverbal communication, silence. Silence is a response, although not easily translated or understood. Though there's no response, that is a response. There are many reasons why someone may not be talkative, and it does not mean it's the fault of the person that they're quiet towards. Sometimes if someone is quiet, you automatically think it's something that you did. You may have offended them, or you may have caused for them to go silent. There are moments in time where no one did anything. They're just quiet and you didn't do anything wrong. The first thing that someone instantly thinks is that they did something to receive this silent treatment, but this person is just quiet. In relationships, silence can be viewed as a threat, a weapon, or a shield. Moments silence is encouraged, and moments silence is shunned. Wisdom reveals timing, knowing the time to speak and the time to be silent. Some speak when they should be silent, and some are silent when they should be speaking. It's really important to understand the times and the seasons, and wisdom will reveal that. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven." If we go to verse 7, it says, "A time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak." We have to understand the times and the seasons, when it's time to speak regarding things and when it's a time to be silent and wait for the time to speak on things. The topic of discussion is the views of silence and the reason why one may become silent. The more we know, the better we are at understanding this nonverbal communication. So we're not easily offended. We're not being retaliatory because they were silent. Now all of a sudden we're going to be silent, not really understanding why they were silent to begin with, and having a better dialect and just a better posture when someone is silent, and understanding whether this person just really needs their space. We're going to talk about the different views of silence. So that would be a threat, a weapon, or a shield. Previously, we did a video on communication styles where we shared verbal and nonverbal communications. If you have not had an opportunity to listen to that video, I highly recommend going to listen to that, whether on our YouTube or our website, www.ourfaithconnects.com. The first one, a threat. This is views of silence. Some believe silence is a threat in a relationship if there is not a flow of communication, especially if it's not a consistent flow of communication. They may consider it a threat. They feel silence brings harm and a form of disengagement, allowing room to second guess or question where a relationship stands. You ever seen someone who may be in a relationship, but because their partner may be silent, they think, oh, what if they're talking to someone else? What if they're dealing with someone else? What if they don't like me anymore? What if I'm not beautiful anymore? What if they don't want to move forward and marry me anymore? What if I did something wrong? Right? So many different questions start to formulate, and then you start to second guess yourself when someone is silent. Some begin to fear when their significant other is silent because they believe they're shutting down, or it may trigger an abandonment emotion. There's some people who have dealt with abandonment or neglect, so when someone goes silent, it's an automatic trigger for them, where they feel as if they're not being seen, they're not being recognized, and they're not being heard. So they feel it to be a threat. When someone goes silent, they then want to go out, step out, start dealing with someone else, dating someone else, because this person went silent, not understanding why this person is quiet. 2, a weapon. Some believe silence is used as a weapon to emphasize unpredictable behaviors, a retaliatory gain to get even or to inflict worry on the person they are silent to, bring in curiosity towards what they may be thinking or what their plans may be, causing doubt and insecurities when silent. Sometimes people believe that it's being used as a weapon because you don't know what they're thinking, you don't know what they're planning, and them being silent, you know that you may have been wronged by them. You ask for forgiveness. They said that they forgive you, but their silence make you feel as if they're going to try to get even or try to get back for what you have done to them. Some people feel as though it's used as a weapon because it's unpredictable what someone may be feeling, thinking, and what they may do. Number 3, a shield. Some believe silence is a shield to protect both parties involved, not wanting to hurt or bring shame to each other with certain word choices. Level of maturity to know when silence is the best option in the situation. For discretion, prevent oversharing, de-escalating, processing, and timing. So some people use silence as a shield because they're like, you know what? I can go 0 to 100. I can get there with you. I don't want that. I don't want us to both get escalated, both of us to get angry, both of us to continue to go back and forth. So I'm not even going to say anything. So I'm using discretion. I'm not going to speak until we're both calm and we're able to communicate in a form in which we're both listening and comprehending. So people use it as a de-escalation. They also use it as a shield because they don't want to overshare. We got to be mindful of who we're sharing our business to, as well as how much we are sharing, because not every ear is a listening ear that has your best interest. People use silence as a shield to prevent them from oversharing, as well as processing what's taking place. There's a lot of different components, a lot of things happening at one time. And sometimes people just need to process what is happening before they say the wrong thing, before they just act. They want to process. Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Let me make sure I'm processing this correctly. Let me make sure that it's making sense before I say anything so I don't regret or eat my words. So that when I do speak, I'll be able to stand on my words opposed to regretting them. As well as timing, understanding the time to speak and understanding the time to be silent and to be still and to observe. There are seasons of our life where we shouldn't be talking. We should be observing what's taking place around us. People perceive silence differently. When it comes to injustice, it's always the time to speak. When you do not speak, the oppression continues and worsens, creating a revolving door and evolving into much worse. So the thing about being silent when it comes to injustice, it continues to proceed and it gets worse, and then it causes collateral damage. Now, not only is one person affected, it's multiple people affected because no one decided to speak. When it comes to injustice, it's always the time to speak. And we should never allow anyone to silence our voices. If they don't want to hear it, they don't have to listen. Period. Don't allow anyone to silence you because they're uncomfortable. They don't have to listen. There are different reasons why people are silent in relationships. It does not always appear as what it seems, so it is best not to make assumptions. When people are silent, there's so many different thoughts that may come to mind as to why they're silent, and it's best not to make assumptions, but rather wait until they're out of that space to see what they have to say, and then just process what is said with wisdom. So we're going to talk about the different reasons for silence. Of course, there's multiple reasons why someone will be silent. I am listing 9 here, and I believe that they may be helpful just when dealing with someone that may be silent in a season or even most of the time. Some people, they like to talk a lot, and then some people just like to be quiet. Sometimes people like to be around people without saying a word. So understanding people's comfortability and understanding that everyone has something going on and it's not always about you. So here are the reasons for silence. Number 1, thoughts. There may be a lot on one's mind and they're processing everything in next moves. Some things are not explained and cannot be put into words what they're experiencing. There are moments where there's a lot going on in their head. They may be having a lot of mind battles. There's a lot of decisions that are upcoming and they want to make sure that they're making the best decision for them. And that requires silence. Has nothing to do with another person, more so on what their next moves are going to be. And they want to ensure that they make the best decision for them. So they're processing and they're thinking and they're quiet. They're weighing out outcomes in their mind and they're looking at the possibilities of things and they want to ensure it is the best decision for them. The issue is when people impulsively do things and they act out of impulse and they didn't think at all. They just acted and then they regret and they're remorseful and now they want pity because they just acted without thinking. There are some people that are silent because they're thinking. There's difference between someone overthinking and then someone critically thinking. And when someone is critically thinking, it requires silence sometimes. Number 2, they're non-argumentative. They do not want to argue. If they feel the conversation will lead to an argument, they will try to prevent it with silence. They're like, you know what, I'm not even about to go there with you because I know how you can get, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the space. I don't want to argue. So they feel if someone's going to be combative and they feel that person's not going to listen to them, they're not even going to waste their time talking to them. 3, checked out. Though they are in that moment, they could have checked out from the present. So though they are there in the moment, they may have checked out from the present, zoned out. Physically, they're there. Mentally, they're not. They may not feel it necessary to give time, energy, or voice towards a conversation. There's some people that preserve their energy, they preserve their time, and they preserve their voice. And if they feel the conversation is not worth having, they are not going to speak. Number 4, listening. They just want to listen. They have no feedback, no rebuttal, no add-ons, no advice. They are just listening to you. Though you may desire for some dialogue or a dialect between the person that you are communicating with, there are some people that just want to listen and they have nothing to say. Number 5, they're tired. Literally, figuratively, they just may be tired in all aspects. They may be sleepy. They may be tired of conversations, especially if it's repetitive conversations that just appear to not get anywhere. They may just not want to have the conversation. They may be tired of people. They may be tired of life, tired of problems, and they just don't have the drive to talk about it. 6, observant. They're mindful of their surroundings and observe what is and is not said in body languages. Sometimes we just need to be quiet and watch what's happening. What are they saying? What are they not saying? What is the body language about? Sometimes you just got to observe. Some people are silent because they're observant. They're reading the room. They're reading the atmosphere. They're reading what's around them. They're watching everyone and what they're doing until they feel comfortable to speak or until they know what exactly is in the room. Number 7, prevention. They do not want to overshare and prefer not to say anything at all. Using wisdom to know timing. We just talked about there's a time under heaven for every activity, so knowing when to speak and knowing when to be silent. They understand timing, so they want to prevent. Acknowledging when silence is the best response when there is no getting through. There's some people, it doesn't matter what you say, they will never want to understand because they don't have a desire to understand. The Bible says a fool have no desire in understanding. So it doesn't matter what you say, how you say it, how you relate your deliverance. They do not want to understand. So there's no getting through to them. When you see it's a waste of time, like you're talking to a wall, you're not going to talk because you're like, it's a waste of time. I don't have any energy for that. They're not listening. They're not going to comprehend because there's a refusal. There's a denial in their heart not to listen. Number 8, deception. They use it as a weapon to control, deceive, manipulate, and confuse, purposely going silent to allow one to run with false narratives and perceptions. Literally don't say anything and allow people to talk knowing that they're wrong, just for that narrative to spread. So some people use silence to cover their hands as well as allowing others to run with narratives that are not true. So they will control the narrative by their silence and allowing what they know to be false to continue, affecting people's perceptions that then affects behaviors. And number 9, choice. They just do not want to speak, whether it's them just disregarding what's being said, they're ignoring what's being said. They have no desire of communicating with the person at all. So they just don't want to speak. They don't want to speak. Once we are able to acknowledge that silence speaks volumes and it can be used for good and harm, we are able to apply more wisdom when situations need clarity, direction, and understanding. The moment that you start to develop more wisdom, you'll be able to know when someone is providing half-truths or someone is purposely, wickedly being silent. How will we know? Because when someone is communicating with you, you know when something needs clarity, right? If someone is dating someone, so they've been dating for like a year and a half, and the person promised them marriage, promised them covenant, right? But it's been a year and a half. We want clarity. So what are we? They still can't even tell you what you are to them and what position you play in their life. We know that needs clarity. We know that needs direction and understanding. There's something missing. So when we are wise, we know when we need more knowledge regarding a conversation, regarding a situation. So though someone may be silent and there's different reasons for being silent, we will still need clarity, direction, and understanding, and we won't be able to move forward until we have those 3 things. Now, someone being silent is not always revolving around a person, as we said before. However, if ever someone is being silent in the midst of needing to communicate something to them, we got to wait until they're ready to have that conversation, but we also need to apply wisdom when that time comes. In all, the silent treatment can be used as a threat, it can be used as a weapon, and it can be used as a shield. That's really all I want to talk about tonight. I pray that this discussion has been a blessing to all of you. So thank you all for listening.